Hi, and welcome to Simply Channeling. Sara and I set our prayers and intentions prior to starting this filming. And now, here's Sara. On other planets, what are some beliefs of those residents? Are they similar to our beliefs or totally different? I know.
In some ways, they're similar. In other ways, they're totally different, depending on the co-creations of those peoples on each planet. And in a way, I've already answered that.
In the computer game Myst, there is a creation book in which you can create things by writing them down, and then it just happen. Is that similar to the plan, so to speak, for the 3D worlds that are created? Does everyone get together who's going to be on that and create this type of environment, or does the environment get created first, then it's populated?
It's a little of both, because they don't really have to get together. It's not like they have a board meeting and decide, we're going to do this. No, take that off of the agenda. They don't. It's not done that way. It's just, I guess I'd have to call it more like telepathy. The beings that want to get together and, they start, or I used the same phrase, but they start having, while they're non-corporeal, they are from source, they are individual energies, and they start to recognize that they each have some similar ideas, and why don't we do this? But they don't have to plan it out that way. They just do it. Yeah, please.
Not a plan per se is good with me, because we don't have plans when we build things a lot of times. We just have a discussion, as you were just mentioning about. And then people go off and make it happen. Is that kind of the process you're talking about?
Well, when humanity does it, it's a little more complex than what you just said. But that's after humans are physically alive on this earth, that it gets complex. But basically, it's kind of like that. Like-minded beings, energy beings, if you will, decide to create a like-minded kind of world and populate it and do all that. But it's they don't have the agenda of, let's create this world and let's put this and that and the other on it, and then we're going to have beings. And do we want evolution or not? No, okay, so we won't have evolution, but we'll just leave it this way, and they're going to do this and that and the other, and okay. They let a lot of it just happen. Hence, there might be evolution. It might be of shorter duration. Unlike here on Earth, there's still what you might call evolution. It's just growth and change and raising frequencies. But if they're of like minds and want to experience certain things, they start the ball rolling. That's a simple answer, I guess. Is that enough? Okay.
The other day, while Sara and I were talking, we do that occasionally, the idea came across her mind that you are her primary guide. Is that true?
She was also thinking this morning that Age and I are one and the same, just going by different names, just to poke fun. That's not entirely true. But I am closer to being a guide than anything higher than that. Not that guides are pretty well informed, let's say. How else could they watch over you and cause things to happen to help you, and then you call them, oh, what a happy accident or synchronicity or something, and just thank your guides when it happens. So I'm kind of on a par with them, but not technically a spirit guide. I just like to hang around now that I've gotten to know you both.
So in other words, you're just outside contractor filling in at times.
Yep. I guess that'll have to do.
So what do the actual spirit guides think of this?
They're okay with it. They prefer to pretty much remain in the background and just do their thing.
Yeah, they've said that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sarah would like to know if it is time yet to move forward with higher beings. And if not, what does she need to do to prepare for that event? I know, but it's a question Sarah asked.
Yeah, and I think she pretty much caught the answer right this split second when you finished. That's why I started to smile. But point being, continue to medicate. See, it must mean something that I keep saying medicate instead of meditate.
Well, she is on a lot of medication.
True. Anyway, but yes, practice. See where it leads you. See, especially practicing the more uplifting patterns of behavior. You're doing better with that. I'm telling her, looking at her face, in where the heck is my finger going? Anyway, yeah, because the camera is at a strange place in the phone. Yeah, when the time is right, it will happen. Patience, meditation, more patience, more meditation, relaxing, don't force anything, have patience.
I'm chuckling because of the patience. Because this question just reeks with impatience.
I would have to agree with that, yes. I think she's got the point now. I hope.
On a larger scale and more long range, is Sarah supposed to be an additional source of information similar to what Bashar is or tells?
Could be. It's depends on a lot of things. I mean, like, there's no hard and fast rule. Again, with patience and meditation, she'll know what to do when she's supposed to do it and how she's supposed to do it. So, yeah. I think I said this once before. I'm kind of an interim being, and that's kind of waiting for her to start. Well, she has started, but to gain more confidence, to raise her frequencies enough, and then see what happens.
So in other words, you're the substitute teacher.
Oh, you could say that. Yeah, I have to throw erasers at her every now and then. Or chalk or something. Yeah.
Last question that I have written down here.
Okay.
Whenever we meditate and we do not state an intention, are there other intentions we made prior, all the other times we meditated, still in effect?
Pretty much, seeing as how there's no time and everything happens now.
Okay.
It's more of for your human sense of how to do things. Even if you're not an engineer, you humans have your own methods. You think you have to do things a certain way. So, hence the concept of, well, do I have to state the same intentions every time I meditate? You don't have to. But there might be something in particular during that meditation that you want to focus on. Go ahead and state that one. But none of them are ever forgotten. It's just like, intentions, desires, all these things are kind of undulating, and some of them come to the fore at this moment, and then I'm going to say the next moment something else might come to the fore. And it's that way when you meditate, that there might be something you're more apt to focus on at that particular meditation. So no, you don't have to repeat every intention you've ever mentioned.
So they're all still in effect, basically.
Of course, because everything is now.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So
I did think of another question.
Uh-oh.
What have you been up to since our last time we visited?
I wondered when you were going to ask that. Actually, I was wondering if you would actually learn not to ask that.
Oh, I have, but it's just fun to see your expression. That's all.
Same old.
Which is what? I'm seeing if there's ever a different answer, okay?
Learning, teaching, growing, experiencing, exploring. Did I miss
So what's
anything?
the last thing you explored?
Your brain.
No, that's a vastness you can't even comprehend.
Oh boy, did you let yourself open.
Are they laughing too?
Oh, there's like a whole, they're falling, rolling in the aisles, and there's like a whole auditorium full of beings doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Particularly grumpy and
crew. Yeah, I know that. There's no vastness in that little brain, at least compared to the vastness you live in.
Right, that is vast. But brains are not. They're physical, so they're not.
Yeah.
Minds have the potential. Mind is thinking, has the potential to be vast.
So is the mind the splinter?
You cannot put a splinter into a box. You put them into a body, but not a box. And
Then
the mind is pretty much part of the body, unless the rest of the feeling and thinking and believing person changes that. Could I say that right? I'm not sure I did.
So in other words, the mind is part of the 3D creation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because then you have the physical brain, and what it does is marvelous, for as small as it relatively is. I should say relatively small that it is. Anyway, and the mind is mostly, it's not seated in the brain any more than love is seated in the physical heart. But the mind is more focused, shall we say, or more imbued with the physicality. So where are we going with that? So yeah, it has to be, well, that's one reason you need to learn and grow and meditate and raise your frequencies and explore on your own. And like I said, learn, expand your mind. And then that kind of gets out of that physical focus, unless it needs to, kind of like the ego. But
you're just rambling right now.
kind of, sort of.
So is the ego and the mind the same?
No.
Okay.
But the ego listens to the mind, and the mind listens to the ego. So
they come to an agreement
sometimes not. So they have to be treated differently, which is why you can't expand the ego. Well, I know there are people that you might think have expanded their egos because they're very large and very strong. But that was their choice when they came into this world. But so you can tell your own ego, your small person, that it's okay. You're going to be safe. Ego, please go to the back of the room, sit there quietly and observe. And when it's time, you can come back and get back in control. Well, or at least, what the ego thinks is control. Mm-hmm. The mind, like I said, is pretty much still concerned with the physical and the surroundings and la la la. But it is able to expand and to realize other realities, other dimensions, other possibilities, probabilities, to learn and grow, like,
mm-hmm.
with Bashar and some of the other people that you've listened to, teachers on television. And so it can expand. And eventually it might catch up to the rise in frequencies. And then it'll be, as you say, blown when it sees the vastness and realizes how puny it really is. Does that make any sense to you?
The rambling did, yes.
The rambling. Well, then I guess it's time for me to leave.
No, I got another question or two that came up while you were rambling.
Better do them quickly. I'm going to say au revoir. It's been fun, as usual. And I hope you've learned something today. I just feel like it's a combination of Thane and Sarah talking here.
It's the Thane and Sarah show.
Anyway, so if you did enjoy it, if you have comments, questions, leave them. Click on the link below and do that. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.